Greetings, fellow Ambazonians. This is Capo Daniel, the president of the Ambazonian People's Rights Advocative Platform. I want to come to react to statements that have been made by the Cameroon Ministry of Defense. The Cameroon Ministry of Defense have put out a statement opening an investigation into the killing of 9 civilians, unarmed civilians in Nacho. These killings are coming few weeks after the Cameroon military have also committed atrocities in Babanki and in Bello. The Cameroon military went into Babanki, arrested individuals, including notables, transport them to upstation Bamenda and detain them. A few days after, the Cameroon military brought these individuals into Babanki and execute them in cold blood. The same group of Cameroon military went into Bello, raped 3 daughters of Com. 2 of them are dead because of injury they sustained during those rape cases in Biango. So the reprisal operation carried out in Mejang by the Cameroon army with the pretext that they were carrying out a revenge attack due to the killing of their colleague, which has turned out to be false, resulted in the killing and burning of 2 notable women who were elder citizens in Mejang. They were killed in cold blood and burnt up in their palace. These are all war crimes. Extrajudicial killings are crimes which are prohibited by the Rome Statute, which the Cameroon government and their parliament have ratified. The Cameroon army was called in Bamenda to intervene to break up a gang that was accused of attacking our civilians. The Cameroon military went into this quarter in Pinin Quarter in Bamenda, arrested these teenagers and executed 5 of them in cold blood. Extrajudicial killing are all prohibited by the Rome Statute, which are obligations that the Cameroon government has to keep. We condemn these horrific actions that have led to the killing of 9 innocent unarmed Ambazonians in Nacho. And we call upon Dr. Cho Ayaba, who recently put out statement authorizing the targeting of family members of John Fundi, who are innocent civilians who have nothing to do in terms of responsibility for action that were committed by their father. These are all the type of rhetorics that have led to mindless actions by Ambazonian soldiers on the ground. These actions in Nacho do not represent the conduct of Ambazonian forces, our brave forces. We have seen the forces of the Marine Forces of Bambalang, who went into La République du Cameroon, focused their actions and their activity against legitimate war targets and come back to our territory. We have not seen Ambazonians or any Ambazonian groups that targets Francophones in general as a means to send message to those who collaborate against the Cameroon military. We condemn this attack. It does not reflect on the conduct of all Ambazonian forces, and we call on Dr. Cho Ayaba to retract statements that targets family members of those who oppose him or those he perceives as traitors against the Ambazonian cause. This cause is a collective cause of our people, majority of whom have not picked up arms, but are simply demanding their rights, which are recognized under international law. We must uphold principles that preserve the sanctity of life and best conduct that reflects our values that we hold dear to. The Ambazonian cause for freedom, our fight for self-determination, is legitimate and is collective by nature, and no individual have the right to target innocent unarmed civilians, to carry out extrajudicial killings. Any forces that were involved in this attack must be reprimanded. Actions must be taken to make sure that such barbaric actions do not take place again in our name. The Cameroon Assembled House of Chiefs has also put out statement that they are going to march on the streets of Bamenda to call for justice and peace after the killing of these individuals in Bamenda. They should be reminded, even after they gathered in an assembly in Bamenda, after the killing of innocent civilians in Bello, in Babanki, no statement was made regarding those extrajudicial killings carried out by the Cameroon military. Anybody who wants to pick and choose the type of atrocity they condemn are hypocrites and will not be allowed to parade our streets with such mockery actions. They should desist from such provocative march past. There is no peace without justice. There must be justice for the 30,000 Ambazonians that have been slaughtered by the Cameroon army for us to have a pathway for peace. The Cameroon government must understand that there is no military victory against the ideology and the identity of our people that are based on international law. Only through negotiation can the root causes of this war be resolved. No cosmetic solution proposed by Mr. Pobia have been able to resolve the pains our people feel, the discrimination they feel, the safeguarding of their identity and their territorial integrity. Our people are worse off today than they were under the British colonial rule, and we will continue to demand for what our people deserve, their right of self-determination, as the only means for sustainable peace in that part of the globe. Fellow Ambazonians, I want you people to know it is now the Cameroon objective. It serves the Cameroon interest for our people to disrupt the barrier of John Frundi. The Cameroon government knows very well that the vast majority of our people wants to pay their respect to John Frundi, and their intelligence services have been manipulating some Ambazonian factions to try to sabotage the barrier of John Frundi. The barrier of John Frundi will take place in Bamenda. Our people wants to pay their last respect to him, and those who seek to disrupt this occasion will be saving the interests of La République du Cameroon. We have seen pro-Cameroon and anti-Ambazonian nationalist platform who have come out to promote anti-Ni John Frundi's funeral in Bamenda and completely ignore the Ambazonian factions who are supported by the vast majority of our people who have asked for the chance for our population to have their chance, to have their time to pay their last respect to John Frundi. Ambazonians should not foolishly, blindly follow those who have been manipulated by La République du Cameroon to oppose this funeral. John Frundi, even though he did not stand up to meet the challenges of our time, he is an icon that we all must respect. His contribution to our political development, to our boldness, courage to fight for that which is right, will forever be respected. Siseko Ayok Tabi have put out messages that pays tributes to him. All the various Ambazonian factions, except 2 individuals, have fallen into this trap. The Cameroon government wants to set them up in order to set Ambazonians up against the will of our own people who wants to pay their respect to John Frundi. Be wise. Pobia do not love John Frundi. He was his enemy. Irrespective of our differences in terms of solution and approach to this conflict, John Frundi remains somebody that we will always respect. He's not perfect, but he has done his own part and contributed his own little bit in our political development, like many of our heroes in the past, including John Gufoncha, who himself is not perfect, but nevertheless, they are all children and daughters of Ambazonia, and we will continue to respect them. They have their rightful place in our history. Be wise, be right, be objective, and stand for principles that sustain and that will attract the type of attention our people desperately need in order to fulfill their dream of having a homeland that is safe for them, free from Cameroon extrajudicial killing, rape, and arson attacks on our villages. God bless you all.